And Democracy Direct is a nonprofit organization, Stephen. What else can you tell us about them?
Well, it started off quite a while ago. I believe it was 2005, and this was whenever they were developing or putting up towers in the downtown core in Whiterock. And numbers of citizens were against that type of development, and so they protested. And after they kind of became inactive for a while as an organization, and then they tried to have an influence on the development in the town, but they felt that it wasn't really happening from a community basis, so they became more political. And in the last election, they actually started, we had a political organization called Democracy Direct Society, Democracy Direct Whiterock, which grew out of Democracy Direct Society. And we were very successful. We have the mayor and 4 of the councillors who came from our organization, basically, and we're backed by them, basically because we shared a lot of the same principles and ideas. And so since that time, I mean, as the president, I feel that it's important to keep a kind of arm's length position with the council and with the local politicians. I don't think it's important to have that sort of distance so that you can be critical in a positive way, and allow them to do their work and really serve the larger constituency in Whiterock.
Perfect, which is needed. Whiterock is a small community, so this is a community-based organization that works with people, public, with the local community in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So for the policies are met just basically for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of our constitution, in fact, that we put community first. And so the things that we've done since the since the election, we've had meetings sort of every 2 months, and except of course of late. And we've had different topics that we did have a presentation on the water in Whiterock. We had another one on the OCP and how that relates to zoning and bylaws. So a lot of people just think the OCP kind of stands alone, but it doesn't really. There's a kind of interaction there. We had a person from Port Moody who's written a book called A Time for Cities. And this has, his name is Gaetan Royer, and he's been working in cities for decades, and he's his book is actually about some of the challenges that municipal governments face. They don't have as much autonomy as a lot of people might think.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that presentation was about. So we've got different things. Yeah.
Different things. Oh, good. Stephen, you just talked about water. Mm-hmm. Whiterock water is a major concern for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't feel it's safe to drink the water. What is being done about that? Because our pipes are eroded, basically have arsenic in them. We have to add ammonia to it. What is being done, as per you, as a community leader, I would say, about that?
So, as I think most people know, Whiterock City took back the water, and they built another filtration plant for cleaning the water. It worked for a while, but apparently it has run into some problems. Now, I don't really know the details about that. The levels of arsenic and manganese are apparently acceptable, but
to a level.
But people still have a lot of concern, and that's understandable. One of the major problems is with the pipes that we have, and that ongoing problem that happened throughout the time whenever we didn't own our own water. We need to maintain chloramine. We have to keep chloramine going into those taps, into the water supply, because otherwise, apparently, all of the manganese and this is my understanding anyway, the manganese and the arsenic would then be lifted up into the water because of those old pipes. So it's a kind of, to be honest, it's a kind of a typical situation where the drive from late 80s and early 90s was to privatize a lot of public infrastructure.
Yeah.
And a lot of cities, a lot of towns are finding that this did not work out very well for them.
No.
So
How will it work for us?
it hasn't worked very well. Again, it's one of those things. But I think bringing it back into the public domain is a good first step. But we are left with a lot of problems
Yeah.
that still have not been rectified.
Rectified?
For sure. Yeah.
Can something be done with the allocation of the funds specifically for this? Because I know we have a lot of funds that can be used towards cleaning the pipes, or I don't think there's anything else that can be done. You have to replace the pipes.
Yeah,
Am
yeah.
I right about that? Because the water tends to go brown.
Yeah, that would be my understanding, that it does not. As far as I know, the infrastructure has to be changed
Totally.
in order to really clean things up. But I don't think that that's something that can be done in a year.
Oh no, it's a long process.
The other thing too is with the construction that's happening right now, it's something that it also disturbs the water supply because of the turning off and turning on and all of that sort of stuff. So it creates a kind of disturbance. So I don't know. I'm not the expert in water by any means. But I know that there are a few places that you could go to find out a little bit more than I know.
Absolutely.
And but as far as I know, until that construction is sort of settled, the water situation won't be settled either. So.
I know it's disappointing for me as a female. My hair is a mess
Yeah.
ever since I moved here.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. My dog can't drink that water. You have to leave it out for a bit to kind of settle down and then drink it. So yes, it's a main concern. We shower with it. A lot of people have skin diseases, rashes as a result of that. So something has to be done.
I think too it varies from where it depends on where
Yeah.
you're living in the community. Some areas are affected worse than others, and we find where we're living, we're on Martin Drive. It sort of depends on the day too. Like
Really?
Sometimes
Ammonia
it's not
hits
as good
what
as
time?
I wish I knew. Yeah, you can't set your clock by it.
That's good to know, Stephen. So another thing we are all talking about is COVID-19. We are on the strip right now, and it has been quiet. Economically, has impacted our business here. What do you think the federally, provincially, or even at the city level is being done so that they can thrive and we as a community can thrive?
Well, of course, there are some grants available for businesses and for individuals, and both of those things help business whenever it can start up again.
Yeah.
Because you need the individuals to be coming to your businesses, to your restaurants and your shops. So there has been quite a bit done there. I don't think that in terms of trying to prepare for the opening. Now, I actually was down yesterday and drove through the strip here, and it was pretty busy.
I was here.
It took a while to get along Marine Drive, and I looked up, and even though the restaurants can't,
Take that
meet
many
the
people.
capacity, yeah, there's definitely an interest, and I
Yeah.
think that people want to get out again. Well, one of the reservations I think people have right now is. And I know even for myself, we want to kind of see what's happening as we're opening up. How do those statistics change? Is there a big bump in cases, etc.? And so I think that there's a bit of a hesitation that way. So
That's good to know.
we're still under a lot of restrictions as well. So if you go with another party, even though there's maybe only 6 of you, but you're meeting friends, there is still that distancing that's
Yeah.
supposed to take place.
Which should be maintained regardless.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that we can continue to open up is to ensure that we take the precautions necessary. So.
That's good. What are some of the challenges for Democracy Direct Society, as per you, Stephen, that you guys face now? Are there challenges that you think of as a whole, or?
Well, again, we've been mostly, as I was saying, dealing with having sessions where we had speakers and presentations on various aspects of the community. I think the next one is going to be getting probably something along COVID-19 and what the response has been and the effect that it's had on our community. So we'll maybe have someone from the Fraser Health speak to us just in general. In terms of one thing that we are doing, a lot of us, although we act as independents, but we are on different community organizations as well.
Okay.
So that's sort of ongoing, and one of the parts of the meeting is whenever we share our experience from those different committees. So things have really been on hold for everyone, and I did send out a few emails to Democracy Direct members and friends that we have.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
recently.
but I don't want to be inundating people with it because and so I'm basically saying, hey, if you want more information, contact me and we'll get it for you. But I think that people are getting information from so many different places.
Too many sources out there.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of redundancy, and
Yeah.
so rather than sending everything else out again, quite early on in the pandemic, once the various sources of information had been gathered, I put them together and I sent out an email,
Yeah.
which basically
Was
through
everything.
those links you can continue to follow up on information as it unfolds. So
That's for sure.
yeah.
You just touched base, Stephen, about everything is on hold. Yes, we all know. I'm a resident of Whiterock. I have one concern about, we talked about it briefly before as well, about the city hall. Building permits is a challenge, not just for me, for a lot of people that I talk to. I'm into this business myself, and this is a personal matter for me as well. Seems like City Hall is on a standstill for the longest time, not just now. Anything you want to say?
Well, the one thing that has happened in many ways, or one thing that I have suggested, which in the past, whenever they were having those meetings in the library, that was a very positive encounter because there were always council members there. We would have an agenda, and we deal with the councillors would deal with the points one by one. So it really kept that sort of connection. I think that and one thing that came up at those meetings is the problems that some people are having whenever they're attempting to get things done through City Hall. The recommendation was always, from the councillors, email us about it, okay? And they did take notes. So I think that what I would recommend is in situations like that, don't just deal with the one person all the time. If you're not getting satisfaction, go at it from different angles, and one of them is to contact the councillors directly through their emails, and you can find that on the city website. So.
Thank you. So that's good to know. Yes, I have contacted the mayor, he's just being a mayor right now. He's not there to answer some of our questions, which is, I guess, normal. He has his duties that he has to do, but I think it's nice that people out there should know, if you want to live in Whiterock, you got to spend some time at City Hall, but not, some people are spending anywhere from a year to 3 years time to get a permit, which is seriously not the right time frame for anybody, and for no reason. It's just painful.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, what I would say is that if you can cast your information broadly, then chances are you'll get a better response. And
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and I mean, it's always best to try the sort of official route, but if it's not working for you,
Then
try
has to-
different angles and see what happens.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to talk to the people of Whiterock, Hazelmere, Peaceport, Pacific Douglas, if they have any concerns or questions as a community? Can they reach out to you anyway, or they can email you, question you, phone you?
Sure. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that would be?
Okay, so first of all, we do have a Facebook page, so
Yes.
Democracy Direct Society. So if you Google that, that should come up. My personal email is.
I can always
well,
put
actually,
it on beside the video
I
for
think
you.
it might be best. There's Democracy Direct, probably Democracy Direct gmail.com.
Thank you.
That would be the best way to
Best
get
way.
in touch with me. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Is there anything
Any
else in the
concerns?
end that I'm missing you would like to address to our
Well,
public?
I think that one of the things that we keep that has been said over and over again during this pandemic is we're all in this together. And I
Yep.
think that it's really important as we come out of this to recognize that. And I have to say that we've had an economy that has not had us all in together, and we're seeing some of the things that we can do in order to house the homeless. That's a really important
Affordability.
issue. And it actually makes economic sense as well.
Yeah.
We've seen what's happened in the seniors residential care
Yeah.
units.
Big deal.
We've seen the problems that we've had with this just-in-time delivery of goods and services.
Yeah.
We have to be taking a look at things from a community point of view, I think, from the point at the level at which people live, which is in their communities. And so supporting hospitals, making sure that the people in our community are fed and housed.
Taken care of.
Yeah, we should take care of each other, and I hope that's been considered a naive view, I think, for decades
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But I think that this pandemic has brought that to the fore again, and we're starting to understand, hey, if we don't take care of each other, we're not taking care of ourselves.
That's awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate your time.